Okay, TM Nation, so the TOZO HT2 headphones came out a few months ago, and for 39 bucks, these things seem almost unbeatable on paper. And I do have to admit that I've had my pair for a while, but with all of the other products I've picked up, I had to circle back and give these a shot. I will get into the good and the not so good about these throughout this video, because although they are a very good budget pair of ANC headphones, I do have a few gripes with them that I will touch on a little later. For the highlights, these offer up to 60 hours of use on a charge, which is definitely competitive. They are packing 40mm drivers. They are compatible with the TOZO app. You're getting Bluetooth 5.3, hybrid active noise cancellation with an adaptive mode. And as I'll show you guys a little bit later during my call quality test, the microphones on these headphones do a pretty good job at focusing on your speech while rejecting some of the ambient noise going on around you. Inside of the box, you don't get a carrying case or anything like that. For those of you all wondering, all that you get is your user manual and other documentation, a USB Type-C cable for charging, a 3.5mm cable if you want to use them in wired mode, and you'll get the headphones, of course. As I mentioned in the intro, you can get up to 60 hours of use on a charge with the headphones, but that number can only be achieved if you use them without ANC. If you use them with ANC on pretty much the whole time, your number is going to be closer to 40, which is still a lot better than most of the higher end ANC headphones on the market right now. As for the design of the headphones, they look okay in my opinion. They are available in a bunch of different colors if black doesn't work for you, but in general, they do feel good in the hands, like they'll withstand some wear and tear. They do completely fold up for easier transport, but if you just want to lay them flat on a surface, they can do that too. And comfort wise, I've worn them for longer listening sessions of 5 to 6 hours at a time, and they felt completely fine on my head. The padding on both the top headband and the ear cups haven't given me any type of ear fatigue or discomfort, and they've never felt overly large or heavy on my head. And as far as the playback controls go, those are going to be on your right ear cup, and you do have the functions that you would need, such as track forward, track back, volume adjustments. You can pause and play your media, and the ANC button is easily accessible right there too. With the Bluetooth 5.3 connectivity, I haven't had any issues with any noticeable latency watching YouTube videos or Amazon Prime movies through any of those apps on my iOS or Android devices. But I will say that they don't have a built-in low latency mode, so if you're a hardcore mobile gamer that's looking for a near instant response, these probably aren't the best choice. Now, taking a look at the TOZO app, it has worked well for me so far, and it isn't the most robust app experience out there, but it does have the basics along with a few extras. Through it, you can see the charge left on the headphones, access a library of pre-built EQs or create your own from scratch. You can update the firmware when applicable, access your ANC and transparency mode settings, and access a library of soothing sounds if that's your thing. Now, speaking on the ANC performance with the HT2s, I will say that they did a decent to good job at reducing those low buzzing tones, such as engines running and fans buzzing, and they did an okay job with lower levels of dialogue. They didn't do the best job with medium levels of talking, as I could hear people walking by me having conversations, and I also could hear the landscapers with their equipment going by me a little bit more than I would have liked. They were able to reduce those sounds quite a bit to a level where I was able to enjoy what I was listening to, but the sounds did not completely disappear like what I do get with some other higher end ANC headphones. The transparency, on the other hand, was a little bit stronger than I was expecting, and I was pleased that the way that the sound that I got was more like an amplified pass-through than a strictly AI-driven enhancement that sounds robotic and simulated. While in transparency mode during testing, I was able to hear what was going on around me within about a 5-foot radius, which is not bad at all in comparison to other similar headphones that I've tested. For the call quality, as I mentioned earlier, I do think that the microphones that they use, along with the algorithm that they use, do a good job at focusing on your speech while rejecting some of the noise going on around you. But as always, I did take samples just so that you guys can judge for yourselves. Let's check them out. All right, guys, so right now I have the headphones paired to my iPhone 13 mini, and as you can see, the audio that you're hearing is coming directly from the microphones on them. Now the room right now is relatively quiet and I'm not going to do any type of editing to this sample. So this should give you a decent idea of how these will perform in this type of environment. And now I have some simulated background noise playing in the background, and I'll go ahead and be quiet for just a moment so that you guys can judge how loud that noise is. And I'll go ahead and start talking again. So this part of the test is aimed at seeing how well the microphones on these headphones can focus on my speech while rejecting some of that noise. For the sound quality that these provide, I did create my own custom EQ, but I did find that the rock EQ does sound pretty good as a stock one for the types of music that I listen to, which are mainly hip hop, R&B, and reggae. This EQ sounded the closest to my custom one. It provided a nice warm rich sound that consisted of bright highs that provide a bunch of detail but don't give off that piercing effect, mids that are easily audible for dialogue, and a nice bass response with a respectable thump on the low end. You do have to be careful when EQing these though, because if you overdo it with the bass, they can distort pretty heavily, especially at the higher volumes. These are definitely some of the more bass heavy budget headphones that I've tested, but the low end can sound artificial and overly boomy with the wrong settings. The output with these is also good as they get more than loud enough for my personal liking, so if you like to listen to your media extra loud, I don't think that you'll be disappointed in this department. But I do think that you get the best sound quality out of these at about 75% of the max volume, which is plenty loud in my opinion. Taking everything into consideration, fam, I do think that this is an extremely solid pair of all-around headphones for under 50 bucks. With up to 60 hours of use on a charge, solid call quality, access to the companion app, a comfortable fit, and respectable sound quality, these are definitely some of the best ANC headphones that I own for the price. No, they don't provide class-leading transparency or ANC performance. You aren't getting compatibility with any of the higher definition codecs with them, no low latency gaming mode, and the app is not the most feature-packed, but I do think the performance with them will please most people who are looking for a good entry-level to mid-tier pair of ANC cans. Before you get on out of here, if you rock with the channel and your boy Tech Mo, hit that subscribe button and knock that notification bell out so you won't miss any of my uploads. Welcome to TM Nation. Peace.